Hello again. Today I never managed to finish the other phone call, the other video because I got a phone call, and but I still have a few thoughts to release. Um, so yeah, I have a I have that very nice analytical approach to what happened to me because I seriously couldn't let it go for a very long time, and I thought there must be a reason why people just so epidemically at the moment. It's just the biggest epidemic is not the one about COVID-19. It's the one with your mental health problems. Like every other person is close to a breakdown, is close to depression, is close to some kind of I don't know, bipolar or any kind of low mood or anxiety, and you name it. So if it's not that, and someone is not disclosing a clear signs of depression, they often sort of go the other way and go into addictions, and the reason so depression, which is sort of, it's called depression, but it's nothing but addiction to negative thoughts, and that's where you just go in deeper and deeper into a negative spiral of your own thoughts and of your own beliefs that aren't aligned with your soul. Then you end up getting worse and worse and worse, and obviously just the more you think about it, the more you feel it. The more you talk about it, the more you think about it, the more you feel it, and so on and so on. In order to pull yourself out, you just need to change your like the pattern of thinking, okay? But you're gonna have to do it in your head, and taking medication is never going to help you only, okay? It's going to ease the symptoms, it's going to ease the anxiety, it's going to ease the feeling of heaviness, but everything's going to be in you still. It's still going to be in your head, the scheme, the pattern of negative thinking, the pattern of not liking yourself, the pattern of talking to yourself in a negative way, to forever condition whether you are or not worthy. Then this is never going to finish until you actually do some work. Hello. Do some work. It's internal work that I'm talking about here, and I just I mentioned addictions, right? I did mention addictions just purely because it's another form of depression, okay? So if depression is an addiction to negative thinking, you don't have to be depressed. You don't have to be a negative thinker. You can be an alcoholic. You can be a codependent in a codependent relationship. You can be clingy. You can be, a gambler, or someone who is addicted to food, or excesses. The amounts, the abuses, all the other things. Because negative feelings, negative thoughts towards other people or yourself, they're just as harmful as anything else. It just all comes down to your soul illness, okay? So yeah, it's called mental illness because it does make you do things that are not reasonable, because you are not acting following your heart, you are not acting following your soul, you are acting following your mind, which is in chaos because it is overwhelmed with thinking that is not aligned with your heart, and this is what it comes down to. So now this is a discovery. I like to find things in common, okay? And what I found in common for everybody who is addicted to anything, including negative thinking, that is a person with depression. So everything these people have in common is the fact that they've never experienced real unconditional love and a sense and a feeling of worthiness from from the guardians, from the parents, from someone who was looking after them when they needed to be shown that they are worth it, that they are loved unconditionally. Okay, and even if they did have that love from somebody, the environment that they found themselves in, be it church or family or school or any form of institution that is going to force onto you some sort of belief, and if they imprint it long enough, and then if they start to embed it into your subconsciousness persistently enough, they are going to make you believe that this is actually true. Okay. However, hello.
Sorry to bother that.
That's okay. Thank you. I just know 100% now that these beliefs that I believed about a lot of things, they just. I first discovered that a few years ago when I was actually thinking about my weight, okay? What I believe about my weight, about my body in relation to sport, in my body in relation to food, in my body in relation to the feelings about myself and so on. But what I wanted to say is that things that people tell you when they are obviously older than you, and you regard them as authorities, okay, and you think that they have your best interest in mind, it's not actually necessarily always a true fact. So you have to figure out for yourself whether you agree with it or not. However, we never actually accept that we might be wrong by doing certain things that we are doing. We more comfortable carrying doing this rather than stopping doing it and thinking about, why am I doing this? Why am I acting like this? Why am I saying this? Why is keep on repeating it in my life? Why can't I stop it? And then it just, rather than just think about it, then we just carry on doing the harmful pattern and repeating it, the same thing all the time, then feeling guilty afterwards and just thinking about ourselves that we are a bad person or a negative person, and then we just carry on going deeper in that negative spiral. But it can be broken down. This pattern can be just cleared, okay, by simply realizing what kind of belief it comes from. I mean, you just see so many people, and not only people, but I myself was convinced. I don't know. I just know what examples can I give you? Like, for example, that you're not supposed to be swearing when you were a woman. You're not supposed to be crying when you're a boy or a man. You're not supposed to be angry with your parents. You're not supposed to be disrespectful towards the elderly. But these are always, they have always been beliefs that are very conditioned, right? Because what if an elderly person is actually disrespectful to you? Are you supposed to keep on respecting them all the time when they persistently not the same way towards you? I don't think so. So it's just a matter of thinking for yourself rather than just following the pattern that someone else imprinted in your head, okay? Which should not be there in the first place. But when it comes to the unconditional love, okay, it's just, well, if you're supposed to be angry with your mom and dad, okay, so it's not only about the fact that you should be angry with them, but just what do you do with the anger if there is something that they did against you? Because perhaps there was somebody out there who was your main guardian, and they did hurt you, or they did hurt you spiritually, like emotionally or physically, and the other person who was there and could see that didn't actually realize that you were getting hurt, didn't realize how sensitive you were, or they did realize that and they chose never to stand on your side and never protected you when you actually needed protection at that time, to know that somebody actually just thinks that you're worth enough. And then obviously that kind of regret and that kind of sort of grievance or grudge, it never is going to be turned towards that person. It's going to be turned internally. You are going to have this in you, okay, thinking that this is your fault and you've deserved it and you've done it, and then you're just gonna carry on sort of convincing yourself that this is true. And you're going to hurt yourself more and more by either negative thinking that is going to create you more thoughts and more reality of a negative sort, which you are going to have to face, and without even being aware of that, you're never going to break that cycle. Then you're going to carry on convincing yourself in those situations you create in yourself by negative thinking that you are worthless. Okay, and this is what comes down to the same with that's why the addictions are so difficult to break, and people struggling to stop drinking and stop struggling to stop even smoking, because this is also a self-damage, or other addictions, which are just simply a lack of self worth and a lack of unconditional love towards you, because you never got it yourself in the past, so you just don't think you deserve it. But truly you do deserve it, and what it is that because you are your own parent right now, you cannot actually, yes, you didn't get that love that you're supposed to be given. Yes, maybe someone just shouted at you when you were crying, when you actually needed a cuddle. Yes, maybe somebody mocked you because you were crying over something that no one else was crying over. Yes, maybe somebody was taking a mickey out of you because you were doing something that was out of ordinary for other people. But nowadays, at the end of the day, you are your own parent, and if you don't actually stand on your side, and you're not going to like yourself the way you are, and you're not going to be truly confident in that what you are doing and saying and thinking is true, is your own true, then no one ever is going to deal with you the way you want them to deal with you, because ultimately you're the only person who's got an obligation to understand yourself, and you've got obligation to love yourself the way you are, and only then are you able to actually give and reflect the same love onto other people that are all around you. Unless you do it, your life is going to be the way it is at the moment. And if you are happy with it, and if you think that there is nothing there that could be improved, then so be it. Great, then that's great. But if there is any doubt about it, perhaps it's worth it to go internally, just go inside and just think about, why do I do this? Why do I damage myself? Why do I shout? Why do I get irritated so often? Why can't I just become in this situation? Is this possible? And observe your behaviors, and observe your thoughts, and try and ask yourself, what kind of belief system do I have? Is it actually in alignment with my values? Is it in alignment with my heart, in what I actually want? Because I ask myself these questions. Sometimes I just fail, because sometimes I don't know the answer, sometimes I don't know what I want, and but most of the time now I am able to tell whether this is somebody else's opinion about me that I am basing, that I am, I've got those fundamental beliefs are somebody else's, or is it mine? And I also observe my triggers, because they also show a lot about whether something I do or I say or I think is aligned with me or not. So yeah, I think that this is it. I just need I need a little jog today, because yes, I do feel angry today for some reason, and I do feel like swearing, and I don't give a fuck if someone thinks that it doesn't actually, it's not really nice for women to swear. I don't think that anybody else's opinion should count, as long as you are doing something that is according to you, that's all right according to you. Because if that's, for that moment, the only way you can release the anger that's in you, without I don't know, smashing someone in the face with your cast iron frying pan, but instead doing that, just having a few swear words in the forest where nobody can hear you, I think that I choose the second option. Okay, and just holding everything inside of you because somebody told you that you're not supposed to be doing this, you're not supposed to be doing that, and this is not how you should behave, and you shouldn't be ever angry, or you shouldn't be sad in situations like this. Is just making you feel like you cannot be yourself. My main goal at the moment is just to become my true and authentic version of myself, so I don't have to pretend in any situation, so I can be myself and completely free myself in my head, because people often don't expect me to be polite and don't expect me to be kind all the time, but I somehow in my head convince myself that I've got to be, because this is how long I have been thinking that and feeding that those thoughts as the main truth, whereas I don't have to be the way I don't want to be all the time. But the belief was there so deeply, and it was there so long that I couldn't help but just start and develop certain patterns in my life that led me into a blind corridor. And now I'm just getting out of those, and then I'm trying to get out of this maze in a very, very with a positive frame of mind, in order to perhaps I don't know, inspire someone or help someone as well, if they need it, to see that it is possible to get rid of your thinking that is negative. It's possible to stop damaging behaviors, this self-destructive, auto-destructive behaviors that could be that are potentially they changing you. Okay, they changing you in a person you don't want to be, and obviously everybody else around, the people you love, they are going to be impacted by you the way you are, if you go into choose to go into a negative spiral. Okay, because the negative spiral is really harmful in the long run. And what I'm trying to do is just what I've already done is I came out of it. Now I'm just trying to heal myself out of it, because it was a painful experience. It's not like you're just gonna have a car crash, because being in addiction, in my case an addiction of negative thinking, then it's just like having a car crash. Okay, you're just not gonna be discharged from hospital on the same day. When you got there, they just have to give you all the checks. They have to see if you haven't got any fractures and stuff like that. So you do need some time to heal yourself, and you just need to be compassionate towards yourself. Okay, and that's why that's what I'm trying to do here. Okay, I love you, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye bye.